Somewhere deep in a Russian forest, a child goes missing. The villagers don't call the police. They don't organize a search party. They whisper one name, and then they go home, lock their doors, and pray. Baba Yaga. She's been terrifying children for over 1,000 years. But here's what almost nobody talks about. She's not just a witch. She's not just a monster. She's something far stranger, far older, and far more dangerous than any fairy tale you've ever heard. This is her real story. Welcome to SlavicVault, where we dig into the mythology, legends, and ancient stories that shaped the world we live in. If you're new here, we cover Slavic mythology, one of the most brutally underrated mythological traditions on Earth. Make sure you subscribe, because we've got a lot more dark folklore coming your way. Today we're starting with the most iconic figure in all of Slavic legend, the one who started it all, Baba Yaga. Before we go further, let's kill the most common misconception about Baba Yaga right now. She is not just a witch. Yes, she lives in a forest. Yes, she flies through the air in a giant mortar and pestle. Yes, she eats children, sometimes. But calling Baba Yaga just a witch is like calling the ocean just water. She is something much more ancient and much more complicated. In Slavic folklore, Baba Yaga exists at the boundary between the living world and the dead world. She is a guardian of the threshold, the line between our world and what lies beyond. Every soul that crosses from life to death must pass through her domain. That's not a witch. That's a cosmic force. So why do we picture her as a hunched old woman in a wooden hut? Because that is how the ancient Slavs described her. And the deeper you go into why, the stranger it gets. The name itself is revealing. Baba, in Old Slavic, means old woman, but it's also used for grandmother, midwife, or wise woman. It's a title of power, not an insult. Yaga is harder to translate. Some scholars connect it to the Proto-Slavic word Yaga, meaning illness, horror, or snake. Others link it to Old Norse ikya, to go swiftly. Some even connect it to Sanskrit root words meaning life force or movement. In other words, no one fully agrees on what her name means. And maybe that's the point. Some things aren't supposed to be named easily. Now, how does she actually look? Every folktale describes her differently, but certain details repeat over and over across dozens of cultures and hundreds of years. And those details are disturbing. Baba Yaga is always old, ancient even, beyond a human age. Her spine is twisted, her nose is hooked, sometimes long enough to scrape the ceiling of her own house. Her teeth, when she has them, are made of iron or bone. She smells of death. That last detail isn't casual flavor. In Slavic belief, the smell of death meant proximity to the underworld. Baba Yaga carries that scent because she belongs to both worlds. She breathes the air of the living and the dead simultaneously. And then there's her house, the IZBA. That's the name for a traditional Slavic wooden house. But Baba Yaga's IZBA is no ordinary home. It stands on chicken legs. Yes, chicken legs. The house moves, it turns. It has no windows on the side that faces visitors, only a blank wall. A hero approaching Baba Yaga's house has to recite a magical phrase. Turn your back to the forest, your front to me, to get it to open. On the surface, this sounds absurd. But listen to what scholars actually think it means. Funeral rites in ancient Slavic culture sometimes involved small raised structures, called domovinas, placed over graves, oriented with the door facing away from the village, away from the living world. Baba Yaga's house isn't a house, it's a tomb, a gateway, and she is the keeper of that gate. This woman, this entity, has been placed at the entrance to the afterlife for 1,000 years. And you're telling me we reduced her to a Disney villain? Here's the part that surprises most people when they first learn Slavic mythology. Baba Yaga doesn't always try to kill you. In fact, in many of the oldest stories, she helps the hero. There are 3 types of Baba Yaga that appear in Slavic tales. Scholars have actually categorized them. The first is the donor. She tests the hero and rewards those who pass. The second is the villain. She hunts, attacks, devours. The third is the ambiguous. She helps and hinders without clear motive, like fate itself. What determines which Baba Yaga you get? Your behavior. If a hero arrives politely, feeds themselves, bathes, rests before demanding anything, Baba Yaga rewards them. She gives magical gifts, horses, knowledge of where the villain is hiding. If a hero arrives demanding, rude, or without invitation, she eats them. Think about what that actually teaches. This isn't a story about a monster to be defeated. It's a moral system built into the mythology. Respect the ancient, observe the ritual, come prepared, come humble. Pattern interrupt, compare to modern culture. In a world where we've turned every villain into something to be punched, slashed, or blown up, Baba Yaga is a reminder of an older kind of story, one where wisdom matters more than strength, where the scary thing doesn't want to kill you, it wants to test you. Now we get to the part that very few YouTube channels talk about, because this is where mythology becomes history, and history becomes genuinely fascinating. Where did Baba Yaga actually come from? Theory 1. She is a memory of real women. In many ancient Slavic cultures, older women held enormous ritual power. Healers, midwives, shamans. They lived on the edges of villages, literally at the border between the community and the wild forest. They possessed knowledge of plants, death, and the spirit world. As Christianity swept through Eastern Europe, beginning in the 10th century, these women were systematically demonized. Their knowledge became witchcraft. Their power became evil. Baba Yaga may be the cultural memory of these real women, their power distorted through 1,000 years of religious and cultural pressure into the figure of a monster. Think about that for a moment. An entire tradition of female wisdom, healers, guides, intermediaries between worlds, reduced to a horror story for children. That's not mythology. That's history. Theory 2. She is far, far older than Slavic civilization. Some researchers trace Baba Yaga to pre-Indo-European goddesses of death and transformation, mother goddess figures who appear in cultures across Eurasia, from the Scythians to the Hittites to the early Balts. She may not start as Slavic at all. She may be a fragment of something that existed before the Slavic people as we know them ever formed. A remnant of a religious tradition so old it predates written history. Theory 3. She is a shamanic guide. In traditional shamanic cultures across Siberia and Central Asia, regions that had contact and overlap with early Slavic peoples, the shaman's journey to the spirit world was guided by a supernatural female figure. In Slavic tales, heroes who need wisdom, magical weapons, or directions to the underworld go to Baba Yaga first. She's not an obstacle. She's the guide, the map, the only one who knows the way. Baba Yaga never went away. She transformed. In the 19th century, Aleksandr Afanasyev, the Russian folklorist often called the Slavic Grimm, collected and published hundreds of Slavic folk tales, cementing Baba Yaga in the literary record. His work was the foundation for how most of the world came to know her. Then the 20th century arrived. You've seen her in The Witcher, Andrzej Sapkowski, drew heavily on Slavic mythology, and Baba Yaga's shadow hangs over the entire world of that franchise. You've seen her in John Wick, where the name Baba Yaga is used as a mythological title for the ultimate boogeyman. Even the filmmakers said they were inspired by the Slavic legend. She appears in Neil Gaiman's work, in Hellboy, in dozens of video games, novels and films. But here's the thing. Every modern version softens her, simplifies her, removes the ambiguity, the moral system, the cosmic weight. The real Baba Yaga isn't a villain you defeat. She's a test you face, a threshold you cross, a question the universe asks you before it decides what happens next. She has been asking that question for 1,000 years, and she's still asking. Baba Yaga is not a fairy tale. She is the oldest surviving record of something the Slavic people understood deeply, that the world has edges, and at those edges there are forces that don't care about your plans, your comfort, or your heroism. They care about whether you arrive with respect, whether you've done the work, whether you're ready. She was here before Christianity. She survived the Christianization of Eastern Europe. She survived the Soviet era. She survived globalization and the internet. Whatever she is, she endures. If this video made you look at Slavic mythology differently, subscribe right now, because next week we're going into the war between Perun and Veles, the cosmic battle that was essentially the Slavic version of good versus evil. You do not want to miss it. Drop a comment below. If Baba Yaga knocked on your door tonight, would you let her in?